You. This is Michelle Hope Walker. I want to say hello and welcome to Michelle Hope Walker Speaks. Thank you for everyone that comes month after month to the Michelle Hope Walker Show at the Hollywood Library. We have fun. Special shout out to Steven Briggs, comedian, who's always there and brings somebody wonderful with him to perform. So the last one was Chris. So thank you, Chris. Thank you for all the people that come and show up. And I want to invite you all again, everybody, that you can come to the Michelle Hope Walker Show on October 8th at 6:30 p.m. That's at the Hollywood Library at 1623 North Ivar. That's between Hollywood and Sunset, right there around the corner from Hollywood and Vine. And just come and have fun with us. Come have fun. I do interviews. We have comedians that perform. And also, if you ever want to be on the show, just, give me a call, 323-338-6580. Talk to me. Let's see what you're doing, that it all fits. It's a clean show. Very clean show, as you all know. I'm Michelle Hope Walker, the motivator, encouraging everybody to do what God has called and told them to do. So, the show in October, the Michelle Hope Walker Show, we are going to honor Richard Pryor, comedian Richard Pryor. You all know there's a movie coming out as well, but I've been reading, and you all know I love to read. The first book, though, that you need to make sure you read is the Bible. That's the first book. Open this book up and be led by what the Bible, the Word of God, says. That's the first book that you want to make sure that you read. And then also, though, I have been reading this book, which is written by Richard Pryor, and it's called Pryor Convictions by Richard Pryor, with Todd Gold. So this is a very awesome book. To me, it's not always about what other people say about you, but it's what you say about yourself. So out of all the books I first looked at in relation to Richard Pryor, the one reason why I picked this one was because he wrote it. I wanted to hear what he had to say about himself, because we all know other people can misunderstand us, but we know who we are, and what we say about ourselves is way more important than what other people might say or think about us. And what God says about us is number one important. So joining me on the book reading. So there's this Richard Pryor Convictions. Two other books I'm looking at reading before October 8th. So it's like joining with this book club of reading about Richard Pryor and researching. Furious Cool, Richard Pryor and the World by David Henry and Joe Henry. There's one. Another one is Richard Pryor, A Man and His Madness, a biography by Jim Haskins. There's one. And then there's even a video clip when he was on the Merv Griffin show. He was on the Merv Griffin show. So we're going to look at that. Also, would just love for people like Paul Mooney to come out. David, Miss Banks, his friends, anybody else that would like to come out and share with us their experience with Richard Pryor, a very strong man. And so far I've really learned too, as much as he used the N-word later on in his life, he really regretted using the N-word once he went to Africa and seeing the preciousness, of African people and our heritage. And so it's just all interesting, just learning. The key thing I realized how he stood up, and he also got to a point that he just didn't want to do generic jokes about just making people laugh, but he also wanted to do the realness of real life things that happen to us, that are funny, that happen to us as being, African American, being black, different things we have to experience that at times other races do not experience. So I thought that was interesting, because that was a transition for him too, figuring out who Richard Pryor really was, and then shaping his set, his comedy towards who he, discovered he was. And so many of us comedians do that, or are growing and doing that, because we want to deliver the best show. We want to inspire you, encourage you, keep you happy, because that's what I want to do. Inspire you, encourage you, keep you happy, and make you laugh, at the same time, but also spit some knowledge when we can. So again, this is Michelle Hope Walker. Join me in the readings and research of Richard Pryor. There's a movie coming out as well. But on October the 8th, we're going to honor Richard Pryor, the life of Richard Pryor, celebrate, talk about it. And we'll also have comedian acts for like people, again, that like to come out and celebrate with us. So it's Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month. So Wednesday, October 8th, 2014 at 6:30 p.m. at the Hollywood Library. And this is Michelle Hope Walker. So, just keep on being encouraged. Continue to do what God has called and told you to do. Yes, there's a lot of things to do, but stay focused on what God has called and told you to do. That's the key thing, is staying focused and stay praying. Stay, number one, reading the Word of God and getting direction from God. I find like it's so amazing, and how people be talking about everything else and act like they scared to talk about God. I'm not scared to talk about God, because the places I go and places I'm listening, they talking about everything else and they ain't got no shame and what they talking about. So I have no shame in getting people talking about, yes, I serve God, yes, I love God, and yes, I'm encouraging you to do what God has called and told you to do, because that's that little voice that no one else can see. God is like no other. Ain't nobody else with you 24/7 like God. Don't nobody love you like God. Don't nobody know your future and got a good future in life for you like God does. So when He's leading us to do things, some people call it intuition, some people call it something told me, or whatever you want to call it. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's God, but just stay led by what God called and told you to do. So stay prayed up, and stay encouraged, and stay going hard after what God's called and told you to do. No matter how many times you fall, brush yourself off, get back up, and keep striving for the excellence and in doing what God has called and told you to do. Have a blessed day, you all. It's Michelle Hope Walker. Ta-ta.